Welcome to Decide to Move podcast, where top experts share tips and strategies to grow you from where you currently are to where you are destined to be personally and professionally. Now here's your host, author, speaker, business strategist, CEO, and founder of Decide to Move, Monica M. Bijou.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Decide to Move podcast. Are you ready to find out how you can actually change your mind to make you happier, to increase your relationships, to get rid of chronic pain, and so much more? Well, I'm super excited to have with me Jenny Harkleroad. She is going to do just that. She is an author. She's also a speaker, and she is a subconscious mind change teacher. And she's going to teach us all the great things that we need to know so that way we can actually change the way that we do things by using our mind. And I'm going to let her do more introductions because she's got so much to offer. And out of all the things that she's done, including creating over $13 million, I wish to say over multi-millions of dollars in the last 13 years in San Diego, her greatest claim to fame is having 4 children. She's being a mother of 4. When you see her, you're going to think, what? She doesn't even look that old. So no further ado, having my great friend with me, Jenny Harkleroad. Hi, Jenny. How are you doing today?
Hey, thanks so much, Monica. I'm super excited to be here. And, you know, I did start having kids young. I got married when I was 18, had my first daughter when I was 21, and we were on a trip last summer in Europe, and 2 guys were hitting on us. It was so funny. And my daughter said to him, well, I don't think my mom would approve of this. And he said, well, take me to your mom and I'll ask her permission. And my daughter said, she's right next to me. And he freaked out. It was so funny. So thanks so much. If I was closer, you'd see the wrinkles, but they are there.
Oh, I saw you in person and no, they're not. So don't let her fool you. I've actually got to work with Jenny on other projects as my own summit, got to meet her in person, and she is like beautiful inside and out. And it's just a pleasure to constantly work with you and collaborate. So I'm glad to have you with me and my audience, as well as yours as well.
That's so sweet. Thanks. I'm so excited to be here. And, you know, here's why. I had this life. I was in real estate in San Diego. I was making millions of dollars. Everybody was jealous of my life, you know, married my high school sweetheart, these 4 beautiful kids, the big fancy house, the Disney cruises. But I was unhappy on the inside and I couldn't figure out why. Like, look at everything I have. I'm a religious girl. I have those beliefs. Like, what is missing? Like, how come I'm not happy? What is going on? And it would just drive me crazy. And I was also struggling with chronic physical pain, had been an issue my whole life. I was taking about 30 ibuprofen a day to deal with my pain, which of course caused a lot of other issues like liver failure, to name one of them. And I wanted to be happy and I just didn't know how. So I said affirmations. I looked in the mirror. I'm happy and I'm healthy and I'm terrific. And I wasn't. And I was so frustrated. And then on August 10th of 2013, I was standing on this mountain ledge with my husband. It wasn't that high really, but you know, when you're standing up on a ledge, it seems high, right? He says, if I was young and in shape, I'd jump off of here. And I was like, I'm young and in shape. And I jumped. And when I landed, I heard this crunch in my back and I couldn't move. And I started screaming and he called 911. And Life Flight had to come get me, zip line me up to a hovering helicopter, take me to the hospital, and then they tell me, you broke your back. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, now what, right? And so I had some thinking time. And when you have some thinking time, it's like, well, I want to get better first from a broken back, and then I want to fix my life still. I still have all these problems. They didn't go away. Now I just have an additional problem. And so, of course, the first item of business was to heal my back. And so, you know, I started physical therapy and chiropractor and acupuncture massage and all that stuff. And after a year, I was still in really severe pain. And so I just kept doing those same things every day, seeing different specialists and trying to work through my pain. and faking to the world that I was happy and healthy and terrific like I always did. Just can't drive, just can't sit, just can't go anywhere, just can't do anything. It was crazy. And another year went by and I still couldn't function. And so I thought, surely something is structurally wrong with me, right? Or I'd be better. And so I talked surgeons into cutting me open and putting rods and screws and a synthetic disc in my back. And they did. And 7 months later, I was in the same crazy pain, now full of metal. And I'm like, what do I need to do to get better? This is crazy. And they said, you're not going to get better. Here's your hydrocodone, your opioid pain pills, and sorry. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I am going to get better. There has to be a way. And then I met this medical doctor turned kinesiologist, and he started doing this muscle testing with me and like asking my system what was going on. My system was telling him this was emotional pain, not physical pain. I thought he was crazy. And then 6 hours later, I was healed. And I was like, what just happened? What is going on? How am I healed? And I started to study what he did. I started to study the power of the mind and the brain and how it works and the subconscious and how that works and how our perception works and how our cells perceive signals. And I was just obsessed with how I was healed. It didn't make sense to me. And so I was in real estate, remember, my phone would ring. Someone's like, hey, you want to sell my $1 million house? And I'm like, no. Did you know about the power of the subconscious mind? And my real estate partner's like, shut up, hand me the phone. What are you talking about? And it was about at that point that I realized I can't do real estate anymore because I'm obsessed with how you can change yourself with the power of your mind. I'm obsessed. I mean, it's all I can think about, and it's still like that. I talk about it all day and I dream about it all night, and then I wake up and talk about it all day because we have this subconscious power that we don't tap into. We try harder, we try to have more focus, we try to take more action. You hear what I'm saying? We try. And oh my gosh, it's exhausting and it doesn't work so many times. And it's like, I'm the same old me with the same old struggles, the same old problems. Here I am again. Oh my gosh, the diet starts Monday, right? And so I found a way to like pass all that, to overcome all that, to change all that. And so I'm so passionate about teaching people. We're going to talk about it today, the 3 secrets to creating ultimate success that I discovered. And the cool thing is you can use them in any area of your life. So we kind of have 3 focuses at Balanced You. We do health and wellness, we work on relationships, and we do professional and business success. And so really your mind controls your reality. And so whatever you want to change, I have the secret and I'm going to teach it to you today. So can you tell why I'm excited?
Yeah, I'm excited because yeah, I'm always excited to talk to you. So let's just actually get right into it. So what are the 3 secrets? And then I know that you're going to teach us how to do some of them. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. So the first secret is you have to realize that you have 2 minds. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And we think we're running our lives consciously. We think we're in charge. We think we're making every decision. But have you ever, let's say, been cut off in traffic and you get upset like instantly? Some people do to quite an extreme level, right? Like a knee-jerk reaction. One of your kids says something to you and you're like, oh, I'll kill you right now. Like just gets you, right? Something happens and you have this reaction. What about this? You drive across town and you get home and you're like, I don't even remember driving here. Like, I don't even know which way I went. I was thinking about something else, right? Our subconscious, it doesn't just grow our hair and blink our eyes and beat our heart. It actually controls how we think and how we feel and how we act and how we react. And so the reason we fight with ourselves is because we consciously want to be one way, but we're subconsciously programmed to be another way. So you have to realize you have 2 minds. So when you're trying to succeed, you can't just focus on the conscious mind because it only controls you, according to science, about 5% of the time. You have to focus on your subconscious and your programming. Your programming is what's going to get you to success because it's what runs all the time. If you think about your heart beating would get you to success, oh man, that's steady, right? You're going to get there. It's just always going. Well, you can program that same kind of success or happiness or health or good relations into your subconscious and make it your automatic. So that's secret number one. You have to tap into the power of the subconscious mind. It processes about 40 million bits of information per second. It can process thousands of things at the same time. It's like a tidal wave of power that most people are not tapping into. They're just walking around trying with their 5% mind and not using their 95% power. That's a huge secret. Okay. Secret number one.
Love it.
Secret number two, you were programmed. Like, where did you get this programming? Thanks a lot, mom and dad. It's their fault. Right? Or your grandparents, or your aunts and uncles, or your church, or your school, or whatever you grew up around from literally when you were in your mother's womb till about 8 years old or so, you got programmed. And just like you learned the language they spoke at your house, right? If it was English, you speak English. They didn't speak English and you spoke Chinese, right? No, you learned what they taught you, right? And even if you didn't like it, even if it was bad, that became your programming. Perfect example. Someone grows up in an abusive home. They grow up, they marry someone abusive. Why would they do that? It's their programming. They're not trying to do that. They literally are attracting that because that is their comfort zone, even though it's a bad comfort zone. Okay, so you were programmed, so be mad for like 30 more seconds, but then I'm going to tell you secret number three, and you don't have to be mad anymore. Okay, it is what it is, and we're moving forward. So secret number three is you can change your programming, which is like, oh my gosh, the greatest discovery of the 21st century. You don't have to be stuck with how you feel, how you think, how you act, how you react. You can change it. Now, it sounds too good to be true, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I used to have a temper and things would get me, things would set me off, right? And I thought, I'll never be able to change that because I've always been that way, right? But I was able to change that. I'm not that way at all anymore because I was able to change my subconscious, my automatic. I don't react with anger or upset anymore. I just don't. I don't have that programming in me anymore. So you can change your programming, and we're going to talk about how you do that. So here is step number one. Step number one is you need to know what you want different. So pick a goal. And that's probably the hardest thing for my clients to come up with. We get on a call like this, a Zoom call. Sometimes we meet in person, but most people like to do it online. And I'm like, so what do you want to do today? It's a beautiful day. You could be out, walking in the park. Why are you here? And, sometimes people are like, oh, I have all this terrible stuff. It's all this I want to fix. But other times people are like, I don't really know. Like, how do I want my life to be? I know what I don't want it to be, but how do I want it? So if you can't come up with how you do want it, ask yourself how you don't want it. And then what's the opposite of that? All right. Okay. So pick a category. Now, let's say money, because everybody wouldn't mind having more money, right? Yeah. Okay. We wouldn't turn it down if it knocked on the door. Oh, all right. Come on in. It's all right. Okay. So if you want more money, how much more money do you want? Now, money doesn't cause happiness. I know that. I experienced that. I had it and it didn't make me happy. But it did give me a lot of fun options, a nice house and travel and cars, and it was pretty fun. Okay. So how much money do you want? And let's just make a goal. And we're going to say it in a positive affirmation, but it's not a positive affirmation because we're not just going to conscious mind look in the mirror and say this affirmation. We're going to program it into the subconscious. So let's say the goal is, it's so easy for me to make, and then fill in the blank, however much you want to make per month. So easy for me to make 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, whatever the number is, or more per month. Say that's the goal. Okay. It can be any number, anything you want. It doesn't have to be money. I'm just giving an example. So you're going to take that goal and then you're going to open the brain bridge. It's called the corpus callosum. It separates both hemispheres of the brain. So sometimes, most often, you use one side of the brain or the other. You know, you can Google, am I right-brained or left-brained? And you can find out, you know, am I more emotional? Am I more logical? You know, am I the engineer type, or am I the fun party, storytelling, kumbaya, loving, you know, what personality am I? We want to be in a balanced state. When you're born, your brain literally has 200 million neural connections. It's like a super highway between both hemispheres of the brain. And the older you get, the more that brain bridge locks in, and you kind of develop your personality. And somebody can say something and you have an automatic thought or response. And it's probably the same one as you thought last time you heard that thing. Like, that's how I feel about it, right? But you can change that if you want to by opening that brain bridge. You'll see things in a new perspective. And especially right now during this crazy COVID crisis we're going through, how nice is it to be able to like settle down the nervous system and feel calm and peace and safety and security? That's a great goal. Instead of the money goal, I mean, you can do as many as you want, so it's not limited, but you know, I feel safe and secure in the world. Oh my gosh, if we felt like that, right? Jeez. All right. So we're going to take that goal. We're going to open the brain bridge so that we can build new neural pathways in the brain. When we do that, it changes our cellular perception, which means that it changes how we respond to what is going on. So you can take two people and you can show them, or, you know, the same movie, and then you can say, what's the best part? They're probably going to have different opinions. It's based on their perception, their likes and their dislikes, right? So we all have our own perception. And if we want a different perception, we can change it. And that's how we do it. So we pick a goal, we open the brain bridge, and then we describe the goal to the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind, it's sensory. Sensory means your senses, right? Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, right? Our senses. So have you ever smelled something and you're like, oh, grandma's cookies when I was 5, you know, like, oh my gosh, takes me back. That's how the subconscious is. So if we're just looking in the mirror and saying an affirmation, it's so easy for me to make $1 million a minute. Our subconscious doesn't even know what the heck we're talking about. It's not a sensory definition. So we're going to take you through a process to describe it in sensory language to the subconscious mind. And then we're going to do these little body postures that actually do that, open the brain bridge and build those new neural pathways. And then we're going to make an action plan, because just because you're programmed doesn't mean something's going to happen until you do, right? You have to take action. Like, you can't program yourself to win a gold medal and then sit on the couch, right? You got to do it. And so we're going to get into action. So you ready for all that? You ready to jump in?
Yep, I'm ready. And I'm going to show you guys. And for those that are listening, you can go to the YouTube channel and be able to watch the actual video so you can actually see it in action.
Awesome. Okay. So thanks for that reminder. I will do my best to describe it a little better, since you just reminded me that not everyone's going to be seeing the video all at once. Okay. So get the goal, write the goal, get out your pen, write the goal. First person, present tense, positive, short, meaningful. Like, what do you want? Write it like an affirmation. You can do this as many times as you want with as many different goals as you want. You never have to repeat it. Once you do it, it's done. Okay? Is that awesome? Now, here's the crazy thing though. We have about 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day, according to scientists. That's a lot of thoughts, right? Our mind is constantly going. And they say that about 80% of those thoughts are negative. About 90% are a repeat of yesterday's thoughts. So can you see why we might be stuck if we're thinking negatively and we're repeating that same thought over and over? It's like imagining squeezing lemon juice in your mouth and trying to not let your mouth water. I mean, it just happens, right? Yeah, so we want to change our thinking. We want to change our automatic. And when you do, you just feel like a different person. You're like, wow, I feel so good. I literally pinched myself many times while I was driving, like, why am I so happy? What is going on? Like, am I actually alive? Am I dreaming? No, I feel the pinch. I'm alive. But you can change that internal perception. It's powerful. Okay, so you wrote your goal. Okay. And then next, what you're going to do is you're going to open that brain bridge. So you're going to take your arms out in front of you. You're going to cross your forearms like they're in an X, and you're going to have your hands in a loose fist. So you're not squeezing them, but just a loose fist. And you're going to hold these arms that are crossed out from your body, because you're going to trace them with your eyeballs. You don't want to go cross-eyed if they're too close to your chest. So you're going to start with one hand, and you're just going to look at your hand and then trace your eyes down to your elbow. Try not to move your head. And then your other hand down to your elbow, back to the other hand, down to your elbow, to the other hand, down to your elbow. So you're tracing the X about 10 times. Doesn't have to be exact. When you're done, bring it to your chest. Put your feet flat on the floor, close your eyes, take about 3 slow breaths. When you're ready, you're going to cross your ankles. Keep your arms where they're at, and keep your eyes closed, and take about 3 more slow breaths. And then you're going to put your feet flat on the floor. You're going to uncross your arms, and you're going to set them on your thighs. So right hand on right thigh, left hand on left thigh, palms facing up. You're going to close your eyes and take about 3 more slow breaths. Don't do this while you're driving. Now I want you to keep your eyes closed, and I want you to think about what's visually going to look different when you've accomplished this goal. So if it's making a certain amount of money, maybe it's the smile on your face when you close all those deals. Maybe it's looking at your bank account and seeing the balance like, holy smokes. Maybe it's buying something new, a new car, a new house, new clothes, travel. Maybe it's donating a big chunk of money to a cause that you believe in. What looks different in your life? So think about that. Maybe start with paying off debt. Oh my gosh, that's a big relief. What looks different? So you're going to visualize about 3 different things with your eyes closed. And then we're going to move to, what is someone who knows you and loves you going to say positively to you when they see what you just visualized come true? What might they say? Like, oh my gosh, Monica, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited for you. What are they going to say? And then, what are you going to say to yourself when you accomplished what you just visualized? Maybe it's similar to what others are saying to you. Maybe it's, I love you. I'm proud of you. What is it? What do you say to yourself when you've accomplished these things? Hopefully it's not what's next. Hopefully you can celebrate yourself a little before you move on to what's next. And now I want you to really get into the feeling of how it's going to feel to accomplish this goal. So I want you to just pick one feeling, and maybe it's joy, maybe it's relief, maybe it's excitement, maybe it's gratitude. What is the one feeling when you've accomplished whatever your goal is? And I want you to think of a time you felt that way before, and I want you to try to get into the feeling of that feeling in your body, and try to hold on to it for about 10 seconds. All right, and when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes. You're going to put your arms straight out in front of you, and you're going to put one hand on top of the other, doesn't matter which one, And you're going to make sure the top hand is touching the pinky finger of the bottom hand. And then you're going to swipe up your hand, up your forearm, up your bicep, your shoulder, around to your chest. And then you're going to put that arm back out, and you're going to do it on the other side. Touch your pinky, swipe up your arm, shoulder to your chest. And you're going to keep going back and forth doing that motion. And then you're going to peek at the paper on your desk and see what the goal is that you wrote down. And then you're going to close your eyes and you're going to start repeating that goal. So maybe it's, I feel safe and secure in the world. Maybe it's so easy for me to make some dollar amount, whatever it is, or more every month. Maybe it's, I get along perfectly with my family, even during lockup, right? What is it that you want to accomplish? How do you want to think? How do you want to be? So you're going to have your eyes closed. You're going to be silently repeating that goal over and over while doing that swiping motion. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your right hand over your navel, your belly button, and you're going to swipe straight up to your collarbones. And then you're going to do the left hand and then the right hand, just swiping straight up from your navel to your collarbones. And you're going to keep your eyes closed and you're going to keep repeating that goal silently. And then when you're ready, you're going to interlace your fingers like you're saying a prayer, and you're going to folding your hands and you're just going to set them in your lap. Just relax your arms, keep your eyes closed, and repeat your goal about 5 more times. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Nice work. Now you make an action plan. So get that same piece of paper and pen and write down, what can you do to accomplish this goal? If it's business, is it, reaching out to people, making more calls or more contacts, more networking? What is it? If it's health and wellness, is it eating better, exercising more? What is it? If it's relationships, how are you going to build those relationships? What can you do to accomplish this goal? So after you write that, you're now programmed for that, okay? You have a new automatic, and it's just like a computer. If you reprogram it, what happens? It starts running the new program. So you're the same way. You're going to start running the new program. Most people notice the difference within a couple days, for sure within a week. Oh my gosh, this is crazy, right? I'm running a new program, and doing your action plan will lock it in and make it grow and happen even faster. So that's one of my secrets, one way to program the subconscious mind. And we do that in person, we do that online, we do it in groups, we do it in masterminds, we do it from stages. It works. It works either way. And so take this little process. It may sound or look woo-woo. It is not. It is science. You can go to our website and learn more about the science behind it. But, knowledge does not equal understanding. That's something I've learned recently. Just because we read a book and have all this great information doesn't mean we're changed, right? And that used to drive me crazy. And my marriage, I'd read a marriage book and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the missing piece. Now I know how to communicate. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, I just totally messed it up. Why? Because just because you read something, it doesn't get into your programming. Just because you're motivated or excited or learn something, knowledge does not equal understanding. And my favorite example of that recently is the backward bicycle. I'm not sure if I told you about this last time we spoke, Monica, but if you Google on YouTube, go to YouTube, put in the backward bicycle. So this bicycle, they made it so that if you turn the handlebars to the right, the wheel goes left instead of right. And if you turn the handlebars left, it's opposite. It's the steering of how it's supposed to be. Well, these welders created it, tried to get this engineer to ride it. He was blown away that he could not ride this bike because he knew it was backwards. So he thought, all I have to do is do the opposite, right? But here's what happened. He had a subconscious program for how to ride a bike. And it overpowered his conscious thinking because his subconscious is so fast and so powerful. He would think, okay, I'm going to have to do it backwards. And his subconscious would do it forwards. And he would fall off and he'd be like, nah, dang it. And it took him, I think, 7 or 8 months of practice to be able to ride the bike with such focus and concentration, right? And then he tried to ride a regular bike. He couldn't ride a regular bike anymore. His brain had switched the programming, right? So just because you think you know how to change something, it doesn't change. And so where in your life are you frustrated and stuck and wanting to change? The secret to getting there is the subconscious mind. It'll take you there. Like, we just changed something about your life. You just changed something about your life. It's that simple. Really, it is.
Yeah. And what I like is that, I mean, every time we've done it, this is like the second time, I've always feel like you said, like I feel clear about what's my next path instead of having like the affirmation. And then after I do the affirmation, nothing happens, right?
Right.
But what I love is the fact that you talked about before how it even healed your marriage. Once you learned how to deal with the physical stuff, you also learned how to use it in your relationship.
Absolutely. And we have these triggers from the past. We go through things. We have these traumas and dramas that build up over the decades, which is why I love working with young kids. They're so easy, right? They don't have all this stuff. But for me, the stuff in my marriage, I thought it was him, right? Oh man, I was blaming him. I was sure it was him. If he would just do this or not do this or say that or not say that, then everything would be better. Well, I would tell him that and he would try and then he would forget and then I'd get upset and then I'd tell him again and he would try. The poor guy, right? For 20 freaking years, the poor guy. And then I just reprogrammed myself so that I was just happy on the inside. Didn't matter what he did or said. It had nothing to do with that. Sure, it was nice, right? But if he said something I didn't like, I was open and curious instead of upset. I changed myself. It took me a weekend. Do you hear me? A weekend. It took me a weekend. I changed myself and my marriage was transformed. And it was just like my back. Like, how could that be? That can't be real. That can't, I've been trying, how many marriage books I've read over the last 20 years? How could it be so easy? It's because it was my subconscious that was getting in the way. It was my perception. I was hurt on the inside from stuff in the past. So I was like this open wound. And he would sprinkle a little salt and it was so bad. But when there was no more wound, what happens with the little salt? It bounces off and hits the floor. Nothing. Yeah, powerful. So powerful. How many people struggle in relationships? I had this couple I was working with this week. Oh my gosh, we laughed, we cried, we had the best time. And not only did we have the best time, their relationship was transforming, because they were clearing up their past traumas and dramas and junk. And the nice thing is, we don't have to dig into it with this process. I don't need to hear the long history. I just need to know there's something that was upsetting in the past, and here's how I'd rather feel about it. I don't even need to know what that thing was. It's so simple. We can just change that perception and move forward and make life so much happier and easier. You have the power to do that. So exciting.
Wow, Jenny, that is some great information. And as I told people to get ready, because they're going to learn a lot of great information from you of how to change every area of their life. And it's all up to them based on their subconscious mind. So Jenny, how can people work with you if they are interested in, like you, because you do programs online. Right now with COVID, we really can't get out that much, but you do programs online in the group setting. How do people reach out to you?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple different ways. Our main website is balanceyou.org. So you can go there to learn a lot more about the power of your mind and how you can tap into it to transform your life. I'll give you some freebies. If you want to text the word money freedom with no space to 555-888, you can schedule a free 30-minute call with me. We'll be talking about what's working and what's not, and what you want to be working in your life, and how you can use your subconscious power to get there. You can get a PDF copy of my #1 best-selling book telling my story and how you can take my story and put it to work in your life. And third, we have a program called the Transformation Factor. And this is, we meet twice a month, and it's a group session where I walk you through reprogramming your mind. So you show up with all your goals. We spend an hour helping you accomplish those goals and set action plans to further accomplish those goals. And then we meet 2 weeks later and we do it again with new goals. And so life can just keep getting better and better and better, right? So usually people come to me because they're in some kind of pain, either mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, like, help, right? But then once we get past that, it's like, well, now are we done? Or do you want to just keep making life better and better and better and better? So I love that about the Transformation Factor. So they can get a free month of the Transformation Factor. So just money freedom, text money freedom to 555-888, and they get all those freebies there.
Yeah, that's great. And I will definitely make sure they're in the show notes. So if you're driving, you're like, crap, what was that number? Just go to the show notes on any of your favorite platforms. And to watch it, go to YouTube, because all the details will be there as well. But you'll actually get to see her do everything in person, like in action. So thank you so much, Jenny. This has been a great pleasure having you here with me today.
Thanks, Monica. It's my pleasure to share this stuff. And I want people to know that they really can live their best life. And thanks to the science of the times we live in, now we know how to do it, how to reprogram ourselves. It's like, our phones, sometimes they get all jammed up and they just need an upgrade or a reset or a new phone. Well, our brain, it's been through so much, and we can upgrade it, we can reset it, we can create a new life, a new perception, a new reality. So I'm excited to share that. I'm excited for everyone out there to live their purpose and passion in their very best life.
Yes, and on that note, definitely check out this full episode of Decide to Move podcast with Jenny Harkleroad, as she shares you exactly how your mind can help you change in so many different directions. And for any other episode that you missed, go to the same thing, www.movepodcast.com. Thanks again, Jenny, and you all have a great day. Bye.
Thanks, Monica. See ya.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Decide to Move podcast with Monica M. Bijou. If you're ready to grow personally and professionally in order to take your destined position in the world, then schedule a free clarity call at bit.ly/call with Monica. That's bit.ly/call with Monica, or visit us at decidetomovepodcast.com for all links mentioned today and listen to previous episodes. Also, don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes or your favorite listening platform.